Alrighty, guys, welcome to our Part 2 NFL video for Week 8, 2022. My name is Brock Page, and I've been doing sports picks for free right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. I'm hitting at 65% my last 27 NFL tier package bets on that site. And I'll include a link for this week's NFL tier package bets in the description section below. I currently have over 630 members who are signed up and active on that site right now. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into our afternoon slate. I'm talking about the Titans at the Texans, 4:05 Eastern kickoff. Tennessee's -2.5 on the road, totals 40. Now, the Titans are on a 4-game winning streak, and they successfully covered the point spread in all of those victories. They've also done a terrific job of shutting down the run. They currently have a top 5 rush defense. David Long Jr. and Kevin Byard, they have over 85 tackles between the two of them. They're facing a Houston offense who's scoring only 17 points a game. Meanwhile, defensively, these guys are allowing more rush yards a game than any other club in the league. Could be a big day for Derrick Henry. Now, injury-wise, Jones, Cunningham, Tannehill, Simmons, and Davis, they're all listed as questionable for Tennessee. Meanwhile, for Houston, Collins and Grenard are questionable for them. When it comes to the total, Houston saw overs this year against the likes of Jacksonville, Denver, and Indianapolis. Meanwhile, Tennessee saw their last 3 straight stay under the total themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Tennessee, -2.5, under 40. Next game, Giants, Seahawks, 4:25 East. Seattle's -3, totals 44.5. But despite being favored at home here, the Seahawks defense is one of the worst in the game. These guys are allowing 27 points per contest, and they're in the bottom 3 in stopping the run. Meanwhile, for New York on the other side, Saquon Barkley is averaging 104 yards a game rushing, and he scored 4 times on the ground. Now, the stout G-Men defense is also allowing just 18 points a game. When it comes to the injury report, Jackson, Galladay, Breedson, Tony, and Ojulari, they're listed as questionable for New York. Meanwhile, for Seattle on the other side, Jackson, Burns, Metcalf, and Hart, they're all listed as questionable for them. Now, weather-wise, it looks like rain on Sunday in Seattle at kickoff. 75% chance of showers and gusty wind by kickoff. So keep an eye on that if you have fantasy players or if you're just betting the game. I think that's going to affect the total a lot in this one. It will be a balmy 50 degrees by game time. Now, total-wise, Seattle saw unders versus the likes of Arizona, San Francisco, and Denver this year. Meanwhile, New York saw all of their games this year fall under the total except for one. I'm going to lean toward the New York Football Giants, +3, under 44.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Commanders at the Colts, 4:25 East. Indianapolis is -3.5, totals 39. And despite how bad Washington is, the Colts have committed to first-year starter Sam Ehlinger at quarterback. And I've got to imagine it'll be a rough day for the youngster. The Colts have done very little this year to establish the run game. They're actually in the bottom 3 in the league in rushing. They're averaging only 16 points a game to begin with. So, a lot of times these young quarterbacks, they like to rely on a sound run game. Well, I don't think that's going to happen with Indy here on Sunday. And they're facing a Washington team who's on a 2-game winning streak themselves. And they played some pretty good defense in the month of October. They're actually allowing just 18 points a game in the month of October. They're led by Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne, who have 7 sacks between the two of them. When it comes to the injury list, Thomas, Williams, Jackson, Brown, Dotson, and Turner are questionable for the Commanders. Meanwhile, for Indy on the other side, Leonard, Coutee, and Kwity Paye are questionable for them. When it comes to total, both defenses are actually pretty stout, while both offenses continue to score points. Now, the Colts have also seen all but one game fall under the total this year. Meanwhile, Washington went 4-1 at the under in their last 5. I'm going to lean toward the Commanders plus 3.5, under 39. Next matchup, Niners, Rams, 425 East. San Francisco's -2, totals 42. And for some reason, the Niners, well, they feel a lot better than a 3-4 team. They're allowing just 19 points a game, and they're in the top 3 in fewest yards allowed. Nick Bosa's second in the league in sacks with 7 of them. Meanwhile, Dre Greenlaw, and Fred Warner, they've combined for over 105 tackles between the both of them. Now they're facing a putrid Rams offense. That was a tough one to get out. A putrid Rams offense who's scoring just 17 points a game, and they rank second to last in the league in rushing. When it comes to covering the number, the Rams covered just 2 times all season. Now, injury-wise, Hill, Akers, Jefferson, Brown, and Durant, they're all listed as questionable. Meanwhile, for the Niners on the other side, Croft, Armstead, and Samuel are questionable. Kyle Juszczyk is out. Now, total-wise, the Niners saw 5 out of their last 7 stay under the number. Meanwhile, the Rams saw all but 1 game stay under the total themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Francisco -2, under 42. Next game, Packers-Bills, 8:20 p.m. East. Buffalo's -11, totals 47.5. Now, the one-loss Bills have won 3 of 4 at home this year, and they currently have one of the best ATS records in the NFL. Buffalo's gone 5-1 against the spread this year, and they lead the league in total yards on offense. Josh Allen's second in the league in touchdown passes and QBR. Meanwhile, wideout Stephon Diggs, he has 6 touchdown grabs. He's averaging over 100 yards a game. But it's not just all offense in Buffalo. These guys are leading the league in rush defense. And they're allowing fewer points a game than any other club in the NFL. They're facing a struggling Packer team on the other side of things, who's averaging only 18 points per contest. And numbers aside, it just looks like this team's in shambles. Aaron Rodgers throwing everybody under the bus, teammates, coaches. As good as he is, as talented as he is, he's a really bad teammate. Now, Green Bay also has one of the worst rush defenses in the NFC. When it comes to the injury report, Bakhtiari, Lazard, Gary, Hansen, and Watson are questionable. Randall Cobb is out. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, relatively healthy for the exception of Kumaro and Brown. Now, when it comes to the weather, comfortable cloudy night in upstate New York, 57 degrees and little wind by kickoff, so no real concerns about the weather in that one. When it comes to the total, the Bills saw all of their games this year stay under the number except for one. Meanwhile, Green Bay saw unders against the likes of the Jets, Buccaneers, and Minnesota. I'm going to lean toward Buffalo -11, under 47.5. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final game for the video. I'm talking about Monday Night Football. That's the Bengals at the Browns, 8:15 Monday night. Cincinnati's -3.5, totals 47. Now, we got 2 teams who are doing some good things on offense. They're doing some things right. Now, obviously, the Bengals can throw it all over the yard with Joey B. And the Browns have one of the best rushing attacks in the game. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the injuries. Ward and Teller are questionable for Cleveland. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, Collins, Hendrickson, Topu, Morgan, and Gunter, they're listed as questionable for them. When it comes to the weather in this one, could be a wet day in the afternoon, although things could possibly clear up by game time. I know we're, a handful of days out. Looks like we're going to have a wet morning and a wet afternoon, although it looks like it's going to dry up by kickoff. Total-wise, feels like an overplay here if the adverse weather does hold off. The Bengals did see their last 2 straight get over the number. Overs against the likes of Atlanta and New Orleans. Meanwhile, the Browns saw 5 out of their last 7 get over the total themselves. Now, when it comes to picking a winner in this one, this will be another one of my NFL tier package bets on my website. So if you want to see whether I like the Brownies catching points at home or if I like Cincy getting the job done on the road, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my NFL tier package bets on my website. And the link for those plays are in the description section below. But as far as making a free pick is concerned with this game, I'm going to lean toward the over 47 if that weather holds off. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Titans minus 2.5 under 40. Give me the Giants plus 3 under 44.5. Washington plus 3.5 under 39. San Francisco minus 2 under 42. Buffalo Bills minus 11 under 47.5. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that I'm hitting at 65% in my last 27 NFL tier package bets on my website. I like the over 47 in the Cincinnati-Cleveland game. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy week 8 to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/rockpage.